Hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about why tourism is down in the Philippines and why expats are choosing other countries. And yes, I know people have mentioned this before, but today we got some data that has come out about the first quarter of the Philippines. So I'm going to go over that with you in today's video and express my own feelings about why that may be as well. It's actually dropped significantly in 2024 and now 2025. And it's not just because of world events. Expats, digital nomads, and even longtime retirees are starting to look elsewhere. Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Laos, Cambodia, and even Eastern Europe. But why is this happening to a country with world-class beaches, friendly people, and a pretty low cost of living, although not as low as other countries in Southeast Asia here, and English speaking and fantastic dating? So in this video, I'm going to break it down on what's really going on and what it means for future travelers and expats like you. Stick around. Alright, so the article came out and the Philippines ranked dead last in Asian countries. Number 7 out of 7, I guess, in tourist arrivals in 2025, and that would be all the way through April. And so only 2.1 million visitors actually showed up this first quarter here in the Philippines, while Thailand and Malaysia exceeded. So in the past, the Philippines was actually kind of top of the bucket list for destinations. So what exactly has changed? So some of the key reasons that the newspaper article stated, I'll flash it up here while we're speaking: slow recovery after COVID-19, infrastructure and travel costs, and perception of safety and convenience. There's been incidents that have happened. There's been incidents in Mindanao, which has kind of always been the kind of no-go zone. But in Angeles, a Korean tourist was killed, and all these things are starting to affect the tourism industry. And even expats are kind of thinking, is this the best place for me to retire? So let's kind of start with the infrastructure issues here in the Philippines. Number one would be like poor roads and unpredictable transportation. Every time I fly, there always seems to be some kind of delay. And it's an archipelago, so, getting from place to place, you're taking an airplane, and then you got to take a taxi, and then you got to take a jeepney, and then you got to take a motorbike up this hill to see this site. I remember going to a famous waterfall in Cebu. And the transportation was, you could take a taxi up to the location, to the waterfall, or a bus or whatever. And from there, you would have to hop individually, one-on-one, on these motorbike riders. And they would have you sit sideways with no helmet or anything and take you down like at like full speeds down these, crazy roads to get to this waterfall. This was in South Cebu. I was thinking to myself, my God, can you imagine this would never pass in the West? But that's some of the transportation things that I'm talking about. And even the domestic flights can be long and costly here in the Philippines. So domestic flights from island to island. Now, if you pull up a whole month and if you're really flexible, then you can get some pretty good rates. I can fly from Bacolod to Cebu on the low end for about $27, $30. But if you're just buying kind of last minute, you're here and hey, I want to head over to Cebu, and you're just purchasing within that week, it can be $100 sometimes, a couple $100 sometimes. It's crazy. And if you compare this with the buses and the trains in Vietnam and Thailand, well, you can see what the issue is, and for much lower costs. Yeah, that inter-island travel is difficult. So if you want to go to these, you got to land in the main island. And then if you want to get to this little small island, like you want to go to Apo Island off Dumaguete, or you want to get to Camotes or Bantayan, there's all these different little islands that are just gems, but it's difficult to get to. And so a lot of people just don't. They fly into a main place like Cebu, Manila, Dumaguete, whatever, and there they stay. By the way, guys, I want to let you know, if you're enjoying the content and you want to take it a step further, consider supporting the channel by joining my YouTube membership. Simply click the join button listed down below this video, or head over to my Patreon account at patreon.com/GioInThePhilippines. There you'll get access to behind the scenes footage, extra videos that I don't ever put out on the regular YouTube, private Q&As, early content, and perks that I don't share anywhere else. So thank you guys so much. There will be links in the description, or just click the join button below this video, or again, patreon.com/GioInThePhilippines. And airport upgrades here are going very slow. Now the Cebu airport's fantastic. I really like the Cebu airport. It's as nice as, you know, anything else I've flown in. But the Manila airport is a disaster, and it remains one of the most congested airports in all of Southeast Asia. In fact, most people do everything they can to avoid it. I know I do. And, you know, if you look at some of the expat forums like Reddit and other forums, a lot of people will leave, a lot of comments are like, it's too expensive to travel from island to island. That's a big thing that they complain about. And the second one is it just feels so underdeveloped compared to the rest of Southeast Asia, where, you know, you got trains and everything is just so much more organized. And here it's chaotic at best. I call the Philippines organized chaos. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm here living here. I mean, obviously I like it for some reasons. For me, the English, the dating, the easy visa is great for expats. Tourism, on the other hand, if I was just coming here to be a tourist, to see places, I probably would choose other countries. And cost of travel is higher than it should be. Domestic flights, like I said, are 2 to 3 times higher than neighboring countries. From Bangkok, I can fly over to Cambodia in an hour, and it's like the same price as just flying over to Cebu. It's crazy. And food and accommodations, no longer as cheap as before. I mean, when I first got here, things were super cheap. I'd spend a couple hundred pesos on a meal. Accommodations now, for me, the price point to get to a decent hotel, over $50 easy. Now, if you get $50 and you go to Thailand and Vietnam, you get high end. You know, Vietnam, I stayed in Da Nang at $30 a night, and I had a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And here, not so much. And there's a lot of hidden costs in the Philippines that people also complain about. Terminal fees when you go to the bus station, the ferries, dual pricing, foreigner tax, different rates, you know, for a foreigner, limited public transport, and very few walkable cities. And if you've been here, you'll know what I mean. It's very hard to walk around the Philippines. They don't have very well developed sidewalks. And when they do, people are parking on them or driving up on them anyway. And so that equals more Grab and taxi rides, costing more money. So safety and local issues, a lot of travelers will report petty crimes. I just ran into an expat here in Bacolod. He said that one of the staff went through all his stuff and he had to go and cancel credit cards and stuff because he didn't know what had been compromised and what wasn't. Scams, safety concerns, especially in the less touristy areas. Gun ownership is big here. Political instability in some provinces are deterrents. You know, Western media often highlights the negative news, you know, kind of creating fear. So that is part of it, but, you know, those things happen. You know, meanwhile, like Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia feel safer. They are cleaner and more organized for a lot of visitors. When I visited these other countries, and other people can chime in, it just feels more organized. It feels safer. And for a lot of people, that's big. The Philippines can be very rough still. It feels almost like the Wild West at times, which is kind of exciting, but at the same time, it does wear on you a bit. So why are expats leaving and moving elsewhere? So Thailand, number one, strong healthcare. They do have a lot of different visa options that, you know, like digital nomad visa. Even though they've come out with one here, it still isn't quite a smooth process and really available for every country yet. And great infrastructure. And when you get elderly, that healthcare is very important, and the Philippines lacks in that. Vietnam, fast internet for people, like if you're a digital nomad. Great food, low costs, and a very big emerging digital nomad scene. Malaysia, you got the MM2H program, great English-speaking population, and very modern cities. Philippines, still attractive, but kind of losing its competitive edge. Now, I've spoken to dozens of expats recently who've left the Philippines after 2 to 5 years. That seems to be kind of the point where expats are like, okay, it's not for me, I'm going to move on. It seems to be that 5-year mark, that 2 to 5 year mark is where expats are like, okay, it's not for me, time to move on. If you're over 5 years, it seems like they're just get used to it, or they accept it and they're here for the duration. Or they probably have met a partner and they're with her and her family's here and she lives here and all that, so it just makes sense to stay here. But more and more foreigners that I know are relocating with their Filipinas, so maybe that is the best option. Because I still think Filipinos are one of the greatest girls to find. But when I talk to different expats, they just feel like they kind of outgrew the Philippines. You know, the first thing most people say is they loved the people. Friendly people. I always hear that. The Philippine people are so friendly, they're so happy, they're so approachable, easy to talk to. But most people wanted more ease, more value, and variety. So can the Philippines turn this all around? That's the question. You know, as someone who's lived in the Philippines for 9 years now, I love it here, but I understand why some people get fed up and leave and not coming back typically. So if you're considering visiting or moving here, do your research, look beyond the beaches, look beyond the dating, talk to real expats in expat forums, good place, even though they sometimes can be a little bit unfriendly in these expat forums, and make sure it's the right fit for you long term. And also be open to other countries, just in case, you know, be flexible enough where you can say, you know what, this is not working out, but hey, I've already sold my house and my car and everything in the West, but hey, I can go try Thailand or Vietnam or someplace. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate that. Hit the like button and share this if you felt this video was useful. And don't forget the bell notification so you're updated every time I come out with a new video, live stream, YouTube short, anything like that. And check out my website at GioInThePhilippines.com and check out all my travel essentials that I highly recommend for living or traveling out in the Philippines. And also, I do consultations, and maybe I can help you decide on whether this is the place for you or not. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate it, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Ciao.